Can you tell us your name and age, please?
My name is Minnie Hicks, and I'm 57 years old.
All right, well, today I would like to ask you questions about John F. Kennedy's assassination. So, do you remember where you were when you heard about the president's assassination?
Yes, I do. I was a small child, probably 6, 7 years old, but it was such an impact on me at that age, I knew that he had been killed, but as far as any details that he was assassinated or anything like that, we didn't, I didn't know, I didn't understand. When I was at home, and my sister, back in them days, everybody didn't have a TV. Very few people had TVs back in the 50s, early 60s. So my sister had a friend. We lived up in a holler, and my sister had a friend that she went to watch TV with. And what I remember that happened that day, she come running down the road because I was outside, and she said the president was shot. And I didn't know the impact of what exactly what happened or anything. And she didn't go into any details with me. She probably did my mom or something. But that was it.
Did like when you went back to school that day, did teachers try to explain to you younger kids like what had happened, or did they just kind of not talk about it, or what did they do? They just kind of...
No, they kind of, the only thing that they said when we went back to school was the following day. They said that the president was shot, but still the teachers, or I guess I was so young, that they did not go into any detail of anything that happened to the president. They just said he was shot.
Did you notice that like the mood in the school or the community had changed? Like, could you tell that like the adults were really sad and down and stuff like that?
That, and not only were the adults down, but at that time, during that period of our lives in school, we practiced, since it was wartime and everything, we practiced, hiding under our desk. And at the time, it was a very scary time for, especially as little kids.
Yeah.
Because we did what they call bomb drills. And it's just like fire drills today. But we had to, and they practiced at least 1 or 2 times a week, that we had to get under our desk and put our hands over our head.
Yeah, this was when it was when Vietnam War and the Cuban Missile Crisis was going on. Well, as a little kid, before he was assassinated and you heard about all these bombings, what did you think about it as a little kid? Like were you scared? Like, did you understand, like, the war and the crisis that was going on between Cuba and the United States?
No. You're little, you don't understand that stuff. I think I was 6, 7 or something like that.
Well, did the adults ever try to explain to you why you had to get under your desk or why you had to do drills like that?
Yeah, they told us the reason why. They said because of bombing. They, at that time, it's like the Pearl Harbor hadn't been a great deal later, and if they thought that something like that would happen again to any place in the United States that got bombed like that, they wanted us to be prepared. So they did tell us that.
Well, speaking of war, I know that you were young, but did anybody that you know go into war?
Not at that time. Now, my brother did. My older brother went to Vietnam, and that was back 73, 72, something like that. Several years later. And, as that was the Vietnam War, of course, it was, like I said, it was like 10 years later after Kennedy had died. And that's when they were having the war in Vietnam.
Well, like, even though you were young, were there any, like, good things you remembered about Kennedy?
Everybody loved him. Everybody. Teachers, it's like there was a love for this man, And from what I gather, even today, there are so many people that love John F. Kennedy.
Well, how did you feel when they found out who shot Kennedy? Like, were you happy? Were you scared? Like, what were your feelings when they convicted Lee Harvey Oswald?
I guess I was really too young to understand what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, you know, for a kid, somebody out loose, you know, that killed the president, you know, everything goes through your mind.
Yeah, I mean, that's already scary enough with, you know, you already having to do the bomb drills and that stuff. Well, I thank you, and thank you.